Today we're doing local SEO and local SEO. So today we're doing local SEO, and you've already learned half of local SEO. I don't know if I told you, but because we went through Google business profile. So I'm going to take you through the other half of SEO. Local SEO is super fun. There's some arduous tasks, but there are programs to help with them that can cost a little bit if you want to use them, but there's some manual things that happen slowly over time for each individual profession, but we'll get into that. So let me just share and I do have a giveaway for y'all. Giveaway. It's a tool for you to use, and it is the Nap Master. And there's actually two. So there's a template in here as well, what you can click on and get copies, but we'll go through that when we go over that. So let us get here. First, okay. All right. So today is local SEO. Now, most of us work with businesses that are local businesses, and so local SEO is going to be super important. Ooh, go let somebody in. Okay. So there we go. So always we like to try to start with a quote. I'm going to mute you all while we go through this. Save your questions till the end. If you can't wait, don't worry. Ask a question. It's okay. We'll figure it out. Okay. Oh, admit. Hold on. We got a couple people coming in. There we go. Okay. So local SEO. We like to start with a quote nowadays. The quote is back a page. So Google only loves you when someone else loves you first, when everyone else loves you first. So this is related to reviews, right? Google ends up loving you the more reviews you have, and people love you when they leave a review. So reviews are super important. As you will see from this presentation, lost my mouse somehow. There we go. And what we're going to cover today is we're going to do an overview. We're going to talk about some ranking factors. We're going to talk about NAP, name, address, and phone number across the web. That's an important thing we do for local SEO. And we're going to touch on reviews, how to manage them, what makes sense and what doesn't. So we're specifically focused on Google with SEO. Why is that? Because 62% of desktop users in the USA use Google Chrome, right? 93% of people on phones in the USA are using mobile. So we definitely focus on Google. Now, that doesn't mean you're not optimizing for other search engines, but know that there are going to be some slight differences between the search engines. So we focus mainly on Google. So we're training on how to rank in Google, and a side effect is that you might rank in Bing, or you might rank in DuckDuckGo or Brave, which are other search engines. A little bit of search speak, and you've already heard a lot of the terms I'm going to go through today. It's little recap. So we know about zero-click searches. I call them zero-click attribution, and that's when you search, you get the information you're looking for, and you don't click through to the website. It's one of the reasons we're putting more emphasis on the Google business profile now. More than 50%. So this stat was taken from 2020. So it could be more now. So more than half of searches is no longer click through to the website, right? So we need to account for that and make sure people are getting the information at their fingertips when they're searching. There's also, you're going to hear terms like location or city pages, and those are pages within your website that are dedicated to a city. For instance, if I'm a mechanic and I have a Richmond page, and then I have a Coquitlam page, those would be city pages. Now you have to be careful with city pages because they can also be called doorway pages, which we'll get into in a minute. Doorway pages are pages that are built just to rank for a specific query oftentimes they just lead, they're useless pages. So we see some businesses, they'll have one page and then they'll have 4 or 5 other pages for other cities, and they'll be identical to the one page. So we don't want to do that. So our location pages need to have a creative element to them. For instance, if I'm a real estate agent, I might talk about all the wonderful parks in the area for parents to go to. Or if I'm a mechanic, I might talk about all the different places to go for car, where people go and visit car, do the rallies, or the best places to buy tools or equipment. Yeah. And then backlinks. We all know what backlinks are, right? Remember, they are other sites linking to us. So they're also called inbound links and incoming links. And you're going to learn that local SEO, a big part of local SEO is regular SEO. But another type of link we're going to see are citations, which revolve around NAP. Now, you can show up in the rich results, right? And that's one of the things you do want to focus on eventually, which are showing up for videos, carousels, answer cards, breadcrumbs. We want our little breadcrumbs and site extensions so that people can jump right into a page on our site. Now, we don't have control over making this happen, but we can do some of the right things to show up there. Okay, get into the overview. Local SEO is one of my favorite things to do because you can make a real difference for businesses. Now, you can see from this beautiful little graph from Systrix that, as we know, the first place in Google gets the most clicks. And as you go down the page, you get less clicks. And we talk about click-through rate, and click-through rate is impressions divided by clicks, right? Gets you the click-through rate. Number 1 position gets most of the clicks. Number 2 gets the second most. Number 3, the third. And it keeps going down. If you're on page 2 or 3, you get a lot less clicks. If you're on page like 10, you get no clicks, but Google does show you that you are showing up. So why is this important? Because local SEO has local intent, and Google knows, like, Google set this up to give local businesses a chance, because you can't necessarily beat the Walmarts, and you can't beat the big businesses that show up for most searches. So this way, local businesses can show up. So there's some slight differences with local SEO, but you can show up for high intent terms. So those seed keywords and short tail keywords like pool professionals or plumbers near me, you can show up higher in the search engine results pages for those, being a local business doing local SEO. And we'll go through where local SEO shows up. Now, there are some new terms that happen every year that we see coming out, new searches being done. We especially saw these during COVID with the drive-through and the contactless delivery and the near me open now. That's a new term this year. So know that 7 to 15% of all things searched in Google are new. But that leaves what, 90% of things that aren't. But these terms like near me are specific to local. So what is local search? It's when you perform searches that are geo-targeted, or you're using, and geo-targeting meaning you're adding like the city that you're looking in. And we all do it. You don't just type in digital marketer, you'll type in digital marketer Vancouver or mechanic shop near me. So these are all local searches. So non-geo modified just means, say I type in digital marketer, because I don't necessarily need one close to me, but Google is going to assume that you might be doing a local search. 46% of all searches are local, and of those, I think there's a large number, 70 odd percent, that go to the location after they've searched within 48 hours, or they make a phone call, or they make a purchase. Oh, Google's accounting for that. So geo-targeted, non-geo modified means that you're still it's location-based searching. How does Google know this? They calculate your distance from where you are to the locations. And so in local SEO, there's standard algorithm factors, right? What's this? You get the standard algorithm and then you get a new one. So the reason you do local SEO is we work on tactics to improve our website so we show up and get more visibility. It focuses on a local area so small businesses can rank for high intent terms. One of the hard parts is that if I'm a local business and I serve many areas, I probably won't show up for all the areas. I'll probably just show up for the areas right around me. So local search, Google says in their documentation, like when you use Google Business Profile, is 2 hours. I would think driving and flying, but they say driving. So what we're trying to do is rank for our local area. Who is local SEO for? Now, you do want to visit documentation once in a while with Google because it does change over time. So local SEO is for businesses with a physical location where they greet customers, they bring them in, and they do the service there. Then you also have the geographical target areas. They service an area. So plumbers, electricians, digital marketers. So they're for small business owners. They favor small business owners. So Amazon, Walmart won't show up as much. Even franchises might not show up as much as a local little business, although franchises can be local businesses. So local SEO plays a crucial role in converting customers because customers are in the buying cycle usually when they're searching, and they do visit locations soon after they search. So what do local SEOs do? Well, some fixate on citations, which is the NAP building. Others, will create hyper local content. So using geo targeting keywords. So digital marketer Vancouver, mechanic Richmond, all those things. Others will focus solely on link building, and some people will just focus on Google Business Profile. Now, that being said, building citations and Google Business Profile and then doing all the regular SEO stuff is what is going to be most effective. So the goal, what is the goal? It's to drive traffic and leads to businesses, right? So we want to be able to measure that. And when we get into the data studio class, we will be able to measure that. So the old school way of doing local SEO was doing the name, address, phone number around the web, but also correcting the name, address, phone number because there's going to be duplicates. Google, it's very specific. If I use road in my Google Business Profile, I want to use road on my Facebook business page, or road in my Yelp listing, or I want to use the same phone numbers, I want to use the same hours. We want to keep everything consistent except for the description. So the old school way, we really focused on correcting NAP because NAPs had to be exact. That's less of a priority now. Citation building, NAP building is still a big priority, but fixing old ones, it goes down lower on the list, maybe because we don't like it, or maybe because the tests that SEOs are doing is showing that it's not as important. The new school way, and I've already shown you how to do this, is to fight the spammers. So those people that are putting Google Business Profile in their Google Business Profile name, they're putting locations or other things they're doing. So as an SEO, if I work for a business, I will fight the other spammers that are trying to outrank my competition by doing bad acts. So when you have an SEO on your side, it can be a really good thing because they watch out for you. That being said, we work with some business owners that choose to do what they do in their Google Business listing. The problem with that is when you do NAP around the web, you got to make sure it's the same, right? Because Google Business Profile is the source of truth. And so where is local SEO found? Local SEO is found in the map pack, in the localized results. So right under the map pack. So in the map pack, right under the map pack. So in the regular results and also in the rich results, so in the people also ask section, if there's a carousel at the top of the page. So what is important, and we're going to look at this because there are two sections, right, of the search engine results pages. We have the maps, which have different ranking factors, and then under the maps for local searches. So what's Google trying to achieve? They're trying to achieve the best results for the user, and that's their whole goal. So we're going to look at the different places you can find this. Now, on the first, let me just get rid of this. So photographer and Duncan, if we look at this, you get 3 listings. You click on the more, and that'll bring you over to the local finder where, look, you can see ads. You don't often see ads in the 3-pack. You'll see these ads when you open the finder. So when you open the more businesses. Now, that being said, the way you get these ads is inside Google Ads. You attach as a site link extension to your Google business profile. And that's how you show up. And it's not guaranteed you show up. And yeah, just like with all things Google. So these are the 2 main places. And then I believe underneath the map pack, this is also local SEO. And inside maps. So we're going to see more and more action inside maps. When you have maps on your phone, Google Maps, and you're looking for a location, your reviews will come up, reviews about that business will come up. It is super interesting what's going on in the map section of Google, which we can look at after this on the phone. So things I just want you to notice here are who's showing up at the top of the page, right? We got 134 reviews here, right? That looks like the highest number of reviews. So does it matter, even though these people have all 5 stars? How come they're not showing up higher? And remember, every search is slightly different, so they might show up higher in the next search. So SERPs, how do we know? And I'm taking you on a little side tour for a second. So how does Google know about us? Google is tracking everything, and as we get into the age of we're all being tracked and what's being tracked about us, we do have some control that we might not know about. So I'm going to take you to where you can manage this control. But the first place I'm going to take you is the bottom of your desktop or mobile phone. Hold on. And why am I taking you there? I'm taking you there because Google knows your location, and we can just do this by any search. So even if I want a, say, dog walker, right? So Google's local, it's a local search, right? Ads come up first. Ooh, this is an ad extension. So then we have the map pack. So Google knows I'm probably looking for a local business. But if I keep scrolling down the page to the very bottom of the page, my location is here, right? So it's saying I'm in Crofton. So Google knows this stuff. Google knows all about us. Phelan has actually gone and researched where we went to find out where invoice was from. And don't worry, I'm going to take you to where you can turn on and off these things. But first, we're going to go through a couple other things. So what is Google tracking? They're tracking your web activity. So what you searched for, your search history, if you use Chrome, or you use voice search, Google Homes, Alexa Homes, Siri on your phone, they're recording it all. And you can turn this on and off, but this is important to know. Location history, so they are tracking where you're going, when you sign into your mobile device, if you do map searches, your commute, and more. We're going to see a lot more about this information as time goes on, especially in the States, because of some of the policies that are coming out. So YouTube history, not only what you watched, but what you searched. So I'm going to take you over, and one of the things we're going to learn today is how to turn off our YouTube watch history. We'll do that at the end of the class, and you will see where you can make changes to what's being tracked. Okay, now we want to know the big difference between the map pack and local organic results, right? Like, what is the big difference? What triggers the map pack? What triggers you to show up in the lower search engine results pages? So both are triggered by a local search. They're both prime real estate. You really want to show up. So you're working on both of those things, right? The main ranking factors are your website and links for the local SEO, like in the regular section. So you want to focus on all those regular local SEO things, but targeting geo-targeting, right? Using keywords about area. So the map pack does not mirror the organic results. The way you appear in the map pack is by reviews, opening hours, and there are some rules, like we do change a lot of businesses hours to 24 hours. Google says if there's nobody on staff and you say 24 hours, then maybe that's not good. So it is up to you to decide how you want to manage that. Now, I do have a graph that shows you both what ranks for what. So let's talk about voice search for a quick second. Had no idea where to put the slide in because it's just a slide that can be everywhere, because voice search is unique, it's fast growing, it's something we need to know about, but are we paying much attention to it? It's going to be more important over time as the algorithms update and as we speak into machines. The way we speak into them changes how we search. So questions, the how-to questions, are really important. Future, it's going to be a primary avenue. If you have a Alexa Home, Google Home, you use Surrey, and you're looking for ice cream shop near me, or yeah, you would say that, right? Near me, or doctor's office near me, or where can I buy this? The Google Home or Alexa is only going to give you 3 results. So we definitely want to think about that. So we're going to use long tail keywords, and we want to start using conversational language. So FAQs can really boost your local SEO. FAQ pages are huge to have on a website, especially because you can add FAQ schema, which can help. And when we talk about on-page SEO, we talk about putting questions in your H2 tags. It's one of the reasons why, because we potentially could show up in the people also ask section, and that's how we do it. Now, the best part, ranking factors. Okay, so from what we just talked about, we're looking at the local map and the local organic rankings and what's important. We can see the local map pack. It's mainly Google Business Profile, and then reviews are really important. Not just the reviews on the Google Business Profile, but on other review sites. Talk more about that in a little bit. On page, so that's on page SEO, right? So that's all the things you do, your keywords being mentioned, they're in your heading tags, they're in your title tag, they're in your alt tag of your image. And then links. Links are people linking to your content because it's so good. And then behavior, so Google's tracking everything. And citation building. And then personalization, what you searched before. And then we look over on the other side. So in the regular organic section, we see that reviews are less important. Google Business Profile is less important. Citations are still important, but it's really the on-page SEO and the links. So we want to utilize, if we're a local business, we want to utilize all these things. So what we've learned in the past and the local SEO. So you are geo targeting. And I know this page is big because there's lots of ranking factors, right? We know Google Business Profile, there's the categories that are most important. We've learned that if you drip images constantly, you rename them, upload them, this will help your local SEO. Other big players in the local SEO field are Bing Places, and having that consistent NAP, building citations, reviews are super important. When you are working as an SEO, local SEO, one of the things you're going to do when you get a business that you're working with is you're going to search their business name on Google, and you're going to search the first 3 pages and see what comes up. Do they own those 3 pages? Who else owns? Do they share a name with another business that ranks high? You could do this for their personal name or their business name. We want to see the social listings in there. You're also going to, ranking factors are mobile responsiveness and structured data and click-through rate, right? On-page SEO, location targeting with keywords, localized content, And so for localized content, things like if you help other businesses, you could maybe link out to them because internal and external linking can help you. And then I wanted to mention domain authority. Companies like Ahrefs and SEMrush, which are SEO tracking companies, they'll give domain authority. Some people will pick their keywords based on domain authority. That is not how we do our keyword research. And domain authority, because we like to go to the source, which is Google doesn't do a domain authority, but other sites do, and they change from SEMrush, Ahrefs, or there's slightly different names. There are three main ranking factors in local SEO. These are the most important things to pay attention to, and these are how you want to think about local SEO. So the first one, we're going to talk about relevance, right? If I'm looking for a coffee shop, I don't want McDonald's to, I don't want a shoe shop to show up. And so I need my business to be relevant to my customers. So we definitely focus on relevance. If I'm a mechanic, what do people want to know? What do they want to learn about? What questions do they have? So I'm answering these questions. I really want to be specific to my industry and help my customers. Now, my customers might not use the same jargon that I use in my business, so we want to be careful for that. So relevance is huge. Some relevance tactics include your business's keywords in your description and in your content, not your Google business profile name. Create relevant content, use title tags and meta descriptions, use schema markup. So all the regular SEO stuff, and selecting the right category in your Google business profile. How do you know it's the right category? You're going to go look at your competition, see what their categories are, right? You also want to set up like links from local industry relevant websites. So if a lot of businesses do really well when they do volunteer work or when they support a nonprofit business and they get a link back to them, that's a great link. So things like that, just you want to be relevant to what people are searching for and to your customers. So that's why I always say to every client we have, hey, do your customers ask questions? And when they say yes, I'm like, do you write them down? And they look at me blankly. Then I say, it's a really great idea to get a pen and paper and write down every question your customers ask and then make an FAQ page, because you're literally using their language and it's on your website. So they might not even have to call you to find their answer, but they will call you because they now trust you because you answered their question. And it's a way for consumers to get to know your business online. You don't know all those little numbers on Google Analytics. You don't, every one of those is a person that's visited your site, and we have to look at it like that. So when you think I only have 100 visitors or I only have 50 visitors a month, you had 50 visitors to your website. Okay, now let's talk about proximity. There is something you cannot control with Google Business Profile. It is the second most important ranking factor, and it is proximity. How close are you to the person searching? You cannot control this. There's no point in trying. So it's about distance, right? If I'm in Richmond and say I'm a photographer and I want to get people from Abbotsford, I won't show up as well as a photographer in Abbotsford. It's just the way it is. People don't want to travel more than 20 minutes for their essential items to support businesses. And it's a huge opportunity, right? If we're a local business, to support our community, to build our community, right? You can't just do online things. You got to do some offline things like talk to your customers. So remember that 20-minute mark, right? A proximity tactic is basically you can't do much. It's out of your control. It's unique to each person's search and where they are. So if I search here and then I walk down the street and I search there, I'm probably going to get different search results. And there are ways to test this, which we will show you for free. So proximity, not something you can control. Relevance, something you can control. Prominence, the next thing you can control. So how well known are you, right? What are you doing to become well known? How are people finding you? Prominence equals trust. When I know a business and when that business has a good reputation, I will trust to work with them. We all know that word of mouth, often called WOM, is what can really affect a business. So prominence is related to trust. How do we get trust? Focus on getting links back to our site. So with local SEO, a lot of that's going to be the citation building, right? Writing articles, having great content, linking, reviews. So reviews are super important, right? Because they build trust. We all read reviews. It's really nice to know what you're going to get from business. And when people write reviews, they're probably being really honest. And a bad review just really helps us build how well we're going to do and how we're going to respond. And we'll get into the responding of reviews in a little bit. So what we want is we want to be strong, right? We could be stronger than our competition doing this. We can build out our reviews. We can build out our NAP profiles. We can support our community and organizations with nonprofits. The directory building is where we're going to focus, because as more people link to us, the better off we are. So the other thing we want to think about with local SEO is keyword research, right? Keyword research is foundational to SEO. Yesterday, I got asked, do you focus on 1 to 2 keywords per page, or do you do keyword clusters? I was like, I'm focused on 1 to 2 keywords per page, and then you'll rank for many more. Keyword research is foundational. When you're doing local SEO, you're going to tack on the Vancouver or at the end or at the front, or tack on BC. It's location geo-targeting, the near me or near you that we might want to focus on. So I just wanted to point out down here at the bottom of this slide that it's got the customer versus business owner search. So as a business owner, I think my keyword should be artisan plant-based pizza restaurant versus veggie pizza, healthy pizza, best vegan pizza. So although short tail, now you can show up for artisan plant-based pizza restaurant, right? If I search a veggie pizza. So it's just something to keep in mind that as a business owner, we're going to use more technical language than a searcher. So when we're doing our keyword research, we always check the SERPs to see what's going on. Sorry about that. And we want to know what our competitors are doing, which opens the door for me saying that next week we're talking about competitor research and how we do that. So that's going to be really fun. Identifying keywords, long tail keywords, always the best. Avoid the industry jargon. Think about those how questions, because they're the most common, right? And we want to think about intent, right? If I'm going to pool professional near me is going to be, maybe I would use that as a service page. How to clean my pool would be a informational search, which is probably on my blog. So those are how we want to differentiate the hows. So content and local SEO, the idea is that we publish content frequently. So because of the freshness factor, Google likes new content. We're updating our old content. We're using keywords with our localization. So we're trying to persuade customers that we know what we're talking about. And we know that the longer they stay on our site, it's a ranking factor called dwell time. So we want to write good content, not just write for the sake of writing. We want good content, which might take a little extra time. So you don't have to publish something every week. Once a month can work. Just try to be consistent. And talk about your area. Talk about where you are when you are writing. People really like the personalized approach. Local landing pages. So I just wanted to point out what a great landing page looks like. You have the title with the keyword in it. You got the CTA buttons, call to action buttons, right? You might have a map in there. Maps are really helpful on the contact us page. Want the clean URL with the keyword in it. We want specific information about location, maybe location features, and then you can connect with social links and you have your reviews, right? So just to keep in mind when you're writing a page, local SEO and regular SEO work very much the same, although you're going to be inserting geo-targeted keywords. Content. There's only one thing to say on this slide, which is right for the user. That's who you're talking to. Pick somebody you're talking to. When I started doing videos online, I would pick a friend I was talking to in my imagination, and that really helped. So pick Bob, who just got his carburetor something done, because I know a lot about mechanics, or talk about the best swimming hole in Washington for new homeowners, something like that. Strategy, keywords, content, local SEO. Do all the things we talked about before, and then add these local components. Really, the other 50% of local SEO is Google Business Profile. So we want to use the local SEO strategy. We want to use that plus the NAP building and things like that. We want to make sure our keywords are in our headings and our titles and our descriptions. I know I've repeated myself before, right? We definitely want our hours and directions and contact info on our website and anything else that can help a customer, right? So the whole concept is, it would feel great if somebody, before they came to my business, they were all ready to buy. And the way you do that is because we're all looky-loos, right? We're all looking for things online. And when something resonates with us, that business sticks in our head. And that's what we want. And the people that do the best are people that support their communities, are in their communities, and being very local. Let's talk about NAP, because this is super important for local SEO. And it's not the most fun task, I'm not going to lie. But there are systems to use it, and we have a spreadsheet, and you just slowly work through this once a week, do one listing. But there's fun tests you can do that I will show you. So what it is putting a link from your website on a citation building site. So if you're a lawyer, there's going to be sites where lawyers can put their information, or if you're a chiropractor or a doctor or a plumber, you can build links from citation sites, citations over to your website. So you use your name, address, phone number. Sometimes you'll be able to add images. You definitely want to try to keep this consistent. So copy your Google Business Profile. That's what I always do. And that's why in the sheet I'm going to give you, you have the ability to copy all the information from your Google Business Profile into that sheet, just so you have a record of it when you're going around and doing NAP, name, address, phone number, right? So it's name, address, and phone number. So when a business searches for you for a local listing, remember how I said a lot of people will visit within 48 hours. So what do people want to know? They want to know the business name, they want to know the address, and they want to know the phone number. That's what they need to know to get to you, to ask you questions. Inconsistent NAP will confuse customers and Google. So we do want to update that, but where we focus first is on correcting the poor behavior of our competition if they're inserting keywords into their business name on Google Business Profile. Okay, so NAP is link building. It's like an ecosystem, right? So there's NAP sites, there's local directory, there's industry related sites, local partner sites, there's Chamber of Commerce, there's the BBB, there's local newspaper sites. What we want to do is slowly go around the web, find these sites where we can put our information. Now, some sites cost money. We don't necessarily suggest using those sites. I would go for free first, like always. This is, sometimes you'll get to put your hours. So this is why we do the 24 hours, because it's way easier, because businesses, they'll change their hours from summer to winter. If everybody's 24 hours, then is it effective if somebody drives to your location? Maybe not. but keep consistent hours is what I'm trying to say, right? Or don't include hours on those other sites and have it on your website or on your Google business profile. But if you can keep all the information consistent, except for the description you get, change it a little bit, because you do get areas to write your description, put your keywords in there. And those sites will link back to you, and you'll be able to see that linking inside Google Search Console, which is pretty interesting. So
Usually,
this, as an SEO, if I work for another company, sometimes I can't get a citation unless I have a business email. And I definitely don't want the business owner to be spammed with anything with my link building. So we're cautious about that. We often create a Gmail. I do recommend creating a marketing Gmail for your business and attaching your Google Analytics, your Tag Manager, your Google Search Console, because that way you just have a little bit more control over who you're sharing information with. And then you can use that for your NAP building. So that's what we do oftentimes. There are sites you can use, and one we use, which I can show you, which is called Bright Local, and we use it for our initial NAP building to get a big bulk of them done and then slowly go through it on our own. So the other thing you can do to find incomplete or citations that aren't correct is you can do these kind of searches. Remember, we talked about quotations and negative, and plus means and, right? So this means in Google Ads, this is the quotations mean phrase match. So you put the business name and partial address and then minus correct phone number and see what comes up. When you get into the course in Kajabi at this point, this information will be there if you want to try those searches. You can also use third-party tools like Ahrefs or SEMrush and Search Console, see who's linking to you. We looked at that in our Search Console class. So fixing NAP is fun. NAP directories, how you find them, business type. So for me, it would be digital marketing directory. What comes up? There'll be listicle sites that list out many, and you just go copy those and slowly go through them. Yeah, and I do have a Google Sheet I'll show you right after this. The other thing I really want to talk to you about is reviews. They are super important. You want to focus on two places. So you could say to people, hey, give me a review on Facebook or Google. We prefer Google, or for some places, I know the bike shop we work with, they get reviews on a local travel site, right? Which is pretty good. So you need to focus on getting reviews. You really need to start talking to business owners about being unapologetic about asking for reviews. Google tells business owners to ask for reviews. I know it can be uncomfortable. That's why I bring it up more than once. So what matters with reviews? The number of positive matters, right? How fast you respond to reviews, right? If your clients can name the service they got, the location, also important, right? And we know that percent of positive review responses matters as well. So we know negative reviews will bring you down, but responding to them is what helps. You want to respond within 24 hours. You need to be positive, and there are some rules, which are no more than 2 sentences. You definitely want to thank people for bringing things to your attention. You don't want to be a doormat, but you want to take it offline. If there's a negative review there, you definitely, everybody's reading that, and there are people that will share your responses to reviews if they are reactive, if they're like paragraphs. If you've written more than 2 sentences, you've gone too far. 2 to 5, I say 2, but respond quickly. The other thing to know, and maybe you know this just from your own experience, but minimum 20. So aim for 20, because then you're legit. 10, people still wonder. 6 minimum. 1 could be your mom or your sister, right? So the higher the reviews, the higher you show up in the map pack. That's what we're seeing. And that's about negative reviews. So low star ratings hurts your click-through rate. We know if we see a business with bad reviews, we might not go. Chances are we might not. It can hurt sales, conversions, perceived value. Your responding options are do nothing, get review removed, respond to reviewer, which is what most likely is going to happen. And you're writing a response for your future customers. That's how you have to think about it. And that's what you have to tell business owners. I know we don't have control over that. We can delete their negative reviews, not that we should. Or not negative reviews, negative responses. So guidelines: express sympathy, don't be a doormat, don't offer free things, only respond once, try to take it offline. If you had a bad experience, why don't we get on a phone call and figure it out? If we want to flag for a violation, if it's negative, try to find a violation that works. The only one we've seen work is when somebody mentions another business's name. So the pitfalls are blame, excuses, negative words, and long responses. As we've seen, we have someone in the class who can speak to the way one of their clients is responding to reviews and how they're having to deal with them. So don'ts for local SEO: thin content again, doorway pages, and duplicate content. Things we learned in our local SEO class. And that's basically it. We learned local SEO all in all. So we did an overview, we learned about ranking factors, NAP, name, address, and phone numbers, and we dove into reviews, which are really significant. So your homework, yes, there's a little bit of homework, and so I just want you to go to, and you can do it now, myaccount.google.com, and change your YouTube settings, YouTube tracking settings, what Google's tracking about your YouTube, from 36 months to 3. So when you click on that link or you type into Google myaccount.google.com, this is all about your profile, which is attached to you up here and up here, right? So you're going to go into data and privacy. You have a lot more control than you think. And here you can, click around and get down. So these will take you down lower, but we're looking at our YouTube history. As you can see, mine is on, and I click over here and I can delete activity over 3 months, 36 months. So change it to 3 if you want them to track. Don't auto delete activity. How long is the right time? You can read about all the things in this stuff. So I just want to make you all aware that myaccount.google.com is a place where you're going to want to add your information. We all have one of these. It's like my Gmail's attached. When I sign in with my personal account, I have what shows up. I can have links, my language. All these things can affect what people see about you online. So it's just good to know. So there's that. And then lastly, here is your NAP listing template. So when you click on this, of course, it's going to make you make a copy, which looks like this. When you click on make a copy, it's going to open up, and I put website information. We have how to use this template. Have a Gmail account, log into your Gmail. If you don't have a Gmail account or your client doesn't, make them a client name, marketing Gmail, and then you can read about this. Now there's some extra. I do a legend, and this is the citation. So there are 2 ways you can do this. All this information works with this one. So you'll see it says citation management, right? And then citation management. So this is just tracking your information. You can put in the basic details up here, and then the email you used and the password that you're using for all these citation sites, because when you build these sites, you're going to have emails and passwords, and so you want to list out how you can get access. So I also have the list of sources. So we track when we get on a call with a client, we're like, okay, what is their hosting? What's their CMS? You can ask them, there are ways to find this out. Do you have website admin access? We add digital assets and what they have, but we also go down and you're going to add like Google Business Profile. Apple Maps is a big one too that we use. So the Apple Maps Bing Places, those are the 3 ones that are musts, and you have to work with the client because they call. The client has to answer the phone. So then the social media, which are links, right, to your site. that you create, Bing Webmaster Tools, all these things. But then you get down here and there's a list that you can just go through. You can add, you can delete. Now, I also added your Moz checker. So here it is. You can click on this. It's a lovely tool, free tool. Is it completely accurate? Sometimes, but not often. But it gives you some sites, some local NAP listings that you can try to account for. So you'd put your business information in there, do a little test, because who doesn't like to do little tests on our site? And it'll give us our information. I have 19 missing, 50% incorrect, and 31% correct. So Google will tell you what's missing. Looks like Facebook. My hours are missing and photos are missing. Interesting. Now, some of these are paid, just so you know, but this is where you start. And if you look at this lovely sheet here, so there's all these. You can build your own. This is just a starting place, right? How to do searches, city search, yellow pages. So all these link to the resources, or should, or you can type them into Google. Now, as I said, I give you this Google profile info. Now, we actually fill this out. Is it arduous? Yeah, no. Is it good? So I fill this out and then I copy the information. So I'll take this after I fill it out and I'll copy it, because I will use this and add Facebooks and add Yelps, but I'll go over here and I'll paste it. So and once I've filled in all the information, so I can have it here. And the reason is because when I'm building my citations, I definitely want to be able to copy my business name, or I want to make sure I get the address or the right phone number or the hours. And this is a great way to do it. Now, if it says false, you go over here and you go to insert, and you go to checkbox. Those should all be checkboxes, just in case you didn't know. So we add like opening date and categories and subcategories, and we do this so we can keep track of things, because these are all things we can utilize in the Google business profile. So there's those two things, and if you keep going, there's NAP duplicates if you want to list them here, but the other stellar resource is this. So we use Bright Local. This is a great tool for a search.
Grail.
Pardon me?
This is the Holy Grail.
Yeah. There's some great stuff in here. So all these are fun to look through. There's guides, there's help forums if you need to get hold of Google. The how to get help is in here, where to fill things out. So go through this, click around and get down, and this will help. There's some, like this tool. I love Bright Local. This is a great tool if you're doing audits for your clients and you want to put in, so my search term, for me, it would be digital marketing, and I want to check Google Searcher Maps, and I'm in Canada. And remember, this is a local SERP checker, so they're taking into account my area, and I want to see check results. Great thing about this is I got 10 pages to check. So page 1 will open up, and you could share this with your client, right? Okay, page 1, I searched digital marketing. Who showed up? Ah, look, I showed up. Haha. And then who are my main competitors? Location, do not allow. If my mouse would work, block that. And then you can go through, and if you look, what's gonna happen in all these checks is if I go to like page 9, it's putting me in a slightly different location. As you can see, Toronto's coming up. Usually there's a map section on the page, so this is a local search and what happened, so it'll take me somewhere else. It's not showing that, but basically your searches, you can go through that and see where you show up for different locations. It's a great way to check. And that's the class.